All right, we're in the car with our listing agent, Bryan Davis, talking about listing your home and things that we could do. So Bryan, I was thinking about this week. I thought, you know what? A lot of people meet with you and they want to sell their home for the most amount of money, right?
Yeah.
That's generally the goal.
That is always the goal.
Always the goal. Let's get the most amount of money.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what they should do, or what you think they should do to their house to get the most money. Are there things that are generally the best things to do and fix, and things to get the most money? What are you generally finding?
Okay, so this is everything's different, but if you're looking for blanket advice on everything, is to simply just give me a call. Because I can go out there and I can tell you, do this, don't do this, don't spend your money on this. But if we're looking for the two biggest factors on what we can do to increase the desirability of our home.
What do you mean desirability?
Well, deep clean, declutter. Right? You want a home that is nice and clean, and you walk into it and you want to buy a clean home, right? You want to buy a dirty home. And then
so that actually can help get the most money for your house?
Yeah, I mean, when you're comparing two homes, right? I mean, are you going to pay up for the dirty home, or are you going to pay up for the clean home? Mm-hmm. And it's just an eye candy thing, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, the same applies for that declutter, because it's on paper I can know a home is 2,500 square feet, but when you walk through a home that's completely empty, or even just get all the busy stuff out of the house, so stuff off the floor, stuff off the countertops, make your home look more open and bigger. Yeah, that has an emotional factor that can increase the price.
Interesting. Well, I was thinking about that because somebody asks me, what should I do? And in reality, unless you're increasing your square footage, there's not as much. Now, what about things like updating your kitchen?
Well, if you're going to sell in 3 or 6 months, it's just never going to be worth it, because you're going to spend some money in doing that, right?
Mm-hmm. So you're not really going to get all of your money back?
Well, anything you do, you're not going to get all of your money back. When you do a big project like that, it boils down to, it probably will sell quicker, right? But it won't. It doesn't really increase the value. The way I always explain it is, when I go to buy a new car, if it has new tires or old tires, that's not really going to. You're not going to pay $800 more for the new tires. You just want the car, right? You're looking at the car. You like the car. Sure, the new tires. If it's two exact same vehicles and one has new tires and one doesn't, I might take the one with the new tires. But
gotcha. So it's almost like you said, I like that word, desirability.
It's a desirability thing.
Are you going to sell faster? You may not get a lot more money for it, but you might be the best one on the market in your price range.
Well, and so then why would you ever pay more for less, right? So if you can, the quicker that you sell, you can expect more money sometimes. If we're selling in under 30 days, that's your best frame to get the most amount of money for your home. So by increasing your desirability, well, then you might be slightly affecting your price.
Especially if there's a whole bunch of buyers in the price range shopping at that time, and you get some competition.
Right.
Yeah, and you have multiple buyers saying, hey, this is the best one in the price range. We're willing to take our price up to get it. Yeah,
and I think that some people have an expectation or hope that, well, what if I spent $500 doing this, can I increase my home value $10,000? The answer is no, right? To anything across the board, the answer is going to be no.
Yeah.
And it's the money that you put into it. It's just so hard to get out of it. Even in finishing a basement, you have an unfinished basement. You say, well, I want to increase the value of my home, so I'm going to finish the basement. Well, what does it cost you to finish that basement? $30,000, let's just say, right? Well, what could you expect to increase the sale of your home by? Just giving easy numbers, maybe $10,000 or $15,000. So you've now just spent an extra 10 or 15K it will probably be more desirable to sell, but the money isn't quite there. So there's just not a lot.
A lot that you should do.
To really
so if you're thinking about doing repairs and doing things, maybe they should talk to you first.
Yeah, and it's
before
easy.
They start spending a bunch of money.
Well, because that is a common question for people, and they want me out there. Well, Bryan, what should we do, right? And I can walk through and I say, well, I'm walking through the eyes of a buyer, and I see this and I see that, and maybe it would be a good idea to repair this and fix that, and usually it's just maintenance things and fixing up and cleaning up, right? Sometimes a fresh coat of paint, sometimes scrub this wall and clean this off, or the door handles, and most times I can recommend projects that are $50 to $100. You don't want to spend a whole lot more than that, but that's of course in the price ranges. Our price range, our average price point is $240, right? So in that, there's not a lot. Now once you get up to the $600, $700, $800, right? There's different advice.
Right.
There's different advice up there.
Gotcha.
But the $250, $350, $450. Yeah, it's all pretty
So
universal.
does it have to do with what else is on the market, what you do?
Oh, yeah.
Is that really a lot of, hey, let's look at what your competition is?
Well, it always is.
Yeah.
I mean, part of my job is to inform you this is what you're competing against. This is what's out there right now. If you list today, this is what you're competing against. Now, in your condition of your home versus condition of this home, which one do you think is going to sell quicker, right? Well, if it boils down to the price and the features. Well, if you go cheaper than they are and they have nicer features, then then it's going to be a toss-up on which one sells. But if you want to match their price and sell quicker, well, then we know we have to reflect to look like their house.
Gotcha. If you want to be in a price range and they have certain features, you're going to either have to have those features and be in a better condition, or you're not going to sell as much.
Bingo.
Interesting. Well, that's a great tip.
Yeah.
That makes really a lot of sense. So, Bryan, if they need to talk about what they need to do, how do they get a hold of you?
Just give me a call, 208-206-4617.
Perfect. Guys, list your home. It's time. Call Bryan.
We're ready.